Getting clean drinking water while traveling full-time is absolutely essential. Of course, you could buy plastic water bottles and do it that way, but I'm going to show you what I do to get the best quality water without having to go through all that plastic. So first, let's start at the source. This is the Clearsource Ultra water filter. It is one of the best water filters on the market. As you can see, it has 3 stages of filtering. The first filter removes or reduces rust and sediment. The second filter improves taste and smell and removes or reduces chlorine, volatile organic compounds, and other contaminants. The third stage removes or reduces bacteria like E. coli, Giardia, and more. Any kind of water that's running through my RV runs through the Clearsource filter first. Whether that's the water I wash dishes with or shower in or ultimately drink, it runs through this first. But it's also important to have the right hoses to connect up to these kind of filters. For this kind of system, you do need 2 hoses, one to go in, one to go out. Both need to be certified safe for drinking water. A normal garden hose does not qualify as safe for drinking water. This is the 0G hose, which I love very much. It's really long and it doesn't kink. This one's just a shorter Camco one that will give me that connection into my RV from this guy. Another thing to be aware of is where you're getting your drinking water. Make sure the water is actually potable, and I would not get any water that's anywhere close to a dump station. If that hose is reachable within the dump station, chances are people have used that hose to clean out their sewer hose, and you do not know what is left on the end. So if it's right next to the dump station, don't use it. If it's more like 10 or 20 feet away, I would be a little bit more okay with it, but I kind of just try not to do water at dump stations. Before we move on from the Clearsource, I wanted to show you the difference in a new and used filter. These filters had about 5 months of use on them, and it was consistent use. Out east, I stayed in campgrounds 90% of the time and was hooked up to city water. Now that I'm boondocking, my filter is only being used when I refill my tank, which is about every 2 to 3 weeks. Now that the water is inside my RV, there is one more way I filter the water before I actually drink it. And that is with my lifestraw water pitcher. Lifestraw is consistently rated again and again as the best water pitcher filter on the market that gets the most nasty stuff out of your water. It just does a little bit better job than a Brita, and because I'm getting water sometimes from kind of questionable sources, I want the best thing that gets me the cleanest water, and LifeStraw is that. While I do recommend this filter, take note that it is so slow. I find that it takes about 30 minutes or more to fill with an adequate amount of water. So every time you put water into the first filter, it seems to take about 10 minutes to filter through all this water just in this section right here. And then that will only get you about this much water, so to get up here I have to do it about 3 times. It's usually a task I put while I'm like washing my face and getting ready for bed, so it just sits in the sink and I just come back and refill it and set a timer on my watch. Again, a little bit annoying, but for me, having the best quality water is worth it. In addition to those measures, I sanitize my freshwater tank about 2 times a year. One way to sanitize your tanks and how I do it is I do a bleach and water mix. No. Jojo's gonna tell us the recipe. The recipe is as follows. You'll need about 1/4 cup for every 16 gallons of water your fresh tank holds. I have an 80-gallon tank, so I use 1 1/4 cups bleach. The best time to do this is before a long-ish drive, because then the mixture will slosh around all in your water tank while you're driving, getting in all of those cracks and corners that might be missed if the water was just stagnant. You'll want this mixture to be in your tanks for a minimum of 12 hours, but a maximum of 24 hours. And after that time has passed, it is time to dump. And this is the part that I find the hardest, especially for me with an 80-gallon water tank. I can't just dump this water anywhere. There is a lever underneath my freshwater tank to just go ahead and let the entire tank just drain without having to run through your system. And I can't just do that anywhere or I will cause a minor flood. But no matter the size of your tank, you shouldn't be doing this anywhere anyway, because that bleach mix can be harmful for the environment that you're dumping it into. The slowest way is running it through your entire system. And yes, that means just opening everything up and letting it run. And then you'll have to dump your gray tank. Doing this while boondocking is impossible for me because while I have 80 gallons of fresh, I only have 30 gallons of gray. So that means my gray tank will fill up long before I'm done rinsing the whole system. What I have found works best for me is I sanitize my tanks every time I'm headed home to Michigan, which is roughly about every 6 months. Right in front of my mom's house where I park my RV is a storm drain. So 24 hours before arriving home, I will pour the bleach mix into my water tank, and then after driving home, letting that mix slosh all over my water tank, I'll pull up right in front of her house, making sure I am directly over that storm drain, and I will pull my fresh water tank drain and it will just fall right into the storm drain. I honestly don't know how people do this when they boondock full time, and I definitely struggled to find how I was going to do it when I first started out. When you're boondocking, there's no water and sewer hookups readily available. So you'll have to be smart about how you do this if you do boondock most of the time. If you are on the road all year long, what I highly suggest is every couple months or however frequently you want to do this, book a night or two at an RV park solely to clean your tanks and flush everything out. It won't cost all that much just doing 2 nights, and having clean tanks is well worth it in my opinion. For additional cleaning, you can also run this mixture through all your piping until you smell it coming out all of your faucets, including your shower head. This will take a lot more water though, because you will need to flush out all of those pipes all over again, and it takes a while for that bleachy smell to come out. I'll do this cleaning once a year when I'm home in Michigan, so I have the proper resources and a good place to dump. But that is how I get clean drinking water. There are definitely more things I could do, like doing a UV system, but I don't quite have the space for that under my sink, so this is the best option for me. And I haven't ever felt unsafe about the water. I haven't gotten any brown water or anything gross in my drinking water. I'm really happy with the system that I'm currently using. But if you happen to have any suggestions about anything I might be missing, or a filter out there that's better than what I have, please do let me know. I'm always down to learn more and seeing what systems you guys are using to get the best drinking water. You can never stop learning in this lifestyle. Ever, ever. There's always more, all the time. Oh my gosh, so overwhelming. What are we gonna do? Oh my gosh, I don't know.